If you're trying to get back with your ex and you're in the dark, you don't know whether what you're doing is the right thing, whether you're making progress or whether your ex is moving further away, watch this video because I'm going to explain in this video how to know where you are. It's very hard because after a breakup, because it's painful, because maybe you're trying to get support from your friends but you don't get exactly the right tips. They tell you to move on, they tell you to find someone else. It's not exactly what you want to hear. I'm going to explain you in this video how to know if what you're doing is working or not, which will tell you whether you have a chance eventually to get back with your ex. Jingle.
IGetMyExBack.com. Everyone deserves a second chance.
And I'm going to start with talking about pain, because a breakup is painful, and don't be ashamed that you're suffering, that you're crying, that you might be depressed. Losing someone triggers a range of strong emotions: shock, anger, disbelief, guilt. And you might have felt these emotions strongly. Maybe it's better now, maybe it comes in waves. It depends. What I want you to understand is when we look at brain scans and we look at the area activated when someone looks at their ex, when someone is heartbroken, there's been studies about that. We show them a picture of their ex, and when they see their picture, when they realize how much they're hurt, it's exactly the same area in the brain than the physical pain. Okay, and it's very sort of emotional, it's very primitive. And the reason it's primitive, the reason it's hardwired in our brain is that we are made to have connection. That's our primary need, is to have connection with someone. When you're a kid, it's with your mother. When you're an adult, it's with your spouse. It's a primal need. And so whenever we remove from something that is our primary need, we react in a very emotional way. When you're hungry, when you don't sleep, right? You react because it's as if your life depends on it, which is in a way is the case. And so what I want you to understand in this video is really do this mental exercise to know whether what you're experiencing or how you feel is a primal reaction, because you'll see reacting in a primal way in today's world might not be a good idea. I'll explain you. So the fear of loss and maturity. So a basic human psychology thing, we value what we don't have. Okay, there's this thing about things have no value unless someone else wants it. Okay, and when I was creating this video the morning before, yesterday, because I did the slide yesterday, my kids were fighting. Okay, they are toddlers, they are kids, and anytime one of them has the blue pen, the other one wants the blue pen. And whenever they have a toy, they want the one that their sibling has. It's always like this, okay? And if you have kids, you might relate on this. In relationship, we tend to act like kids. And that's a concept from Alan de Botton, who created School of Life. If you have a minute, have a look at his channel, School of Life, very good content. And he thinks, his theory, and I think to some extent it's really accurate, that we need to treat our partner as child, because the way we react, the way we interact, if you think about it, it's usually our inner child. When we're upset, when we are scared, when we activate attachment style, it's really about you connecting with their inner child. And so the way you react right now, those impulse to write, to send them an email, to send them a love letter, to show yourself at their workplace, is in a way your inner child, your fear, your different trauma, linked to the fear of loss, linked to the fear of being alone, right? If you relate to this, let me know in the comment section. But I like the idea of thinking like, am I acting as a child or am I acting as someone adult? And I'll explain you how to do it. Okay, but can you answer the question? You're asking a question, Alexis. Can you answer the question? What am I doing? Is it correct or wrong? Here's the simple exercise. Here's the simple thing I want you to do. If you feel that it's all about actions, as I mentioned, if you're meant to be together, you'll end up together. I don't care whether you tell me your ex is stubborn, whether you tell me it's been months, it's been years, I don't care. If you're meant to be together, you will end up together. It's really about how with maturity you can react, you can take the right decision, okay? So if you feel that you're about to act out of impulse or sort of what I call emotion-based action, then no, it's not working. Your methodology, the way you see things, your actions would be the wrong ones. And it's extremely hard. I put procrastination here. People, when they procrastinate, it's not because the task is too hard. It's not because they're too busy. It's not because they're distracted. It's because thinking about a task, thinking about doing this action creates a strong emotion. Okay? And then why you have this emotion, it's another story. But it really starts with an emotion. Really a discomfort. And what we tend to do in terms of impulse, in terms of our primitive brain, when there's discomfort, you're going to try to distract yourself. You're going to try to look for something with some short-term reward or pleasure. You have, I don't know, a thesis to write, a chapter of a book to write. It's painful. It's not enjoyable. And then you're going to go to your fridge and have something to eat, have a snack. Or you're going to switch on the TV and watch Netflix. You're distracting yourself from that discomfort. It's exactly the same here. Whenever you have those impulse, those thoughts, try to think whether it's using your primitive part of the brain or the advanced, the analytical part of the brain, the system to brain. So find ways to manage your emotions. And as a therapist and with Selena, with a psychologist as well, our job is to help our clients to manage their emotions. It's something that you can do with a therapist. In this video, I'm going to explain you a little bit how you can do it at home on your own. There's something you have to understand. You are not your emotions. Okay? An emotion, if you think about it, is a signal. You associate this signal to something bad or pleasurable or good. Okay? One way to diffuse that tension, to take a step back when you feel that emotion, is to be more mindful, is to realize that this thing, the reason it's so painful for me to write this, or the reason I have this impulse to write to my ex, or I have this impulse to block them, or I have this impulse to watch their stories. Okay, what's the rationale behind? And so that's why mindfulness really helps tackle anxiety, manage the emotions, because you can take a step back. Okay, you are not your emotions. You can manage them. There's other things around cognitive behavioral therapy. So Sanela, who works with me, he's trained in those practices. Journaling is a great way as well. Whenever, and that's the method I use with my clients personally, whenever you have this kind of these stories, those voices in your head, rather than letting them take the lead, why don't you write them and deconstruct them? Where is it coming from? Why am I thinking about that? What I do with my clients, the ones that are clients with me on WhatsApp, is that they do this work on WhatsApp. So they would write to me on WhatsApp and keep sort of an interactive journal. And therefore we can reflect on those things. I would probably do a course on anxiety, and anxiety is always the same. The way you treat anxiety, of course, there's hypnotherapy, and I'm a clinical hypnotherapist as well. But the idea is to really deconstruct those thinking process. Emotion, thoughts, action. The emotion is not an action, okay? And if you think about it, in most of our work, actually, of course we look at trauma, of course we look at your childhood, but in day-to-day basis, the pain, the actions, anything you do, or anything that prevents you from being successful at getting back with your ex is emotional driven. If you manage your emotions, you'll make right decisions. If you manage your emotions, you'll feel better. It is key. It's fundamental. It's perhaps like 75 to 80% of my time when I work with my client one-to-one is really about tackling those emotions. Okay, but what about my ex? You're talking about me, but I want to get back with my ex. I don't care about me, I care about my ex. Okay, you know why you guys broke up. Okay, what needs to be done should be clear. The how to achieve it should be your obsession, rather than thinking like they are dating someone, what they're up to, what they are posting things, what should I post? It doesn't matter. A lot of people are obsessed about that. What you need to be obsessed is how you can manage those emotions. How can you achieve those things? Unless you, of course, if you don't have a clear plan and you're struggling and you're lost, get in touch with me. I'd be more than happy to give you guidance. But then once you have clarity on the plan, it's really about, what are you doing right now? The sort of things, the obsession is really about what I should be doing right now. I'm going to introduce something about the circle of control versus influence, a concept from Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. If you want to feel better, if you want to know whether you're doing the right things, maximize the amount of time you spend on the circle of control. Okay, circle of control is your world, your mood, your food, your posture, your outfit, anything you can control. Okay, this will influence your environment, i.e. your ex. Okay, the idea right now is, rather than shrinking that circle of control, i.e. not doing anything or just having sort of passive activities such as watching videos like this one, the more you increase your circle of control, the more influence you get on your relationship, on your family, on your the mood in the room, on your neighborhood, on your ex. Okay? And there's another thing you have to understand, that there's the external circle. It's things you have no control of, i.e. whether your ex is dating someone. The weather, you can't control it. You have to accept. You have to accept that you're single right now. Your status, you're single. You have to accept it. Once you accept it, you can refocus your attention on the circle of control. Okay? A lot of people, and that's why a lot of people are anxious after a breakup, is because they spend most of their time obsessing on external things. Fear, the asteroid impact or threat of nuclear war. You can be scared of those things, but if you're obsessed about those things that you can't control, that are likely or not likely, but as you don't have any control of them, what's the point of spending your mental bandwidth thinking about those things? So try to see during your day, what are the actions, what are the things that come into your head, and perhaps right now 80% of your thoughts are about external things, are about circle of influence. Try to shift those 80% to your circle of control, your actions, your world, your mood. It is so important, because the thing is, it's not going to only affect your environment and potentially your ex, it's also going to affect yourself. Because when you're in action, when you are moving, when you are doing things, you're going to be proud of yourself. Because, of course, a breakup is extremely hard. You lose confidence, you lose self-esteem by doing things. And I see a lot of tips online, like, if you want to get back with your ex, find a hobby and do some sport. To some extent, it's true. For the reason I explained, it's not the only thing you should be doing, because there's a lot of part of emotion, right? But it's very important for you to understand that what you need to spend your day on is the circle of control. And a bit of philosophy, why not? Stoicism, which is the virtue. So I'm not going to do a course on Stoicism on this one, but I think it'd be interesting for you to read a little bit on this. So it's 4 principles, like the virtue, the tolerance, the self-control. Really, the self-control here that I want you to understand. Stoicism is a way accepting things for what they are. They are not spending time sort of having their emotions. It's the opposite of people being anxious. They see things in a way, the philosophy is to see things like it's a destiny. When I say, when you are meant to be together, you will end up together. And emotions have nothing to do about this. Okay? And the way, I think it's very interesting with Stoicism is the world and self-improvement. So back in the day, so it's the antique, and one of the best books is Marcus Aurelius, who was a Roman emperor. So, 2,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, they were already talking about self-improvement, okay? You can read a lot of books right now about self-help book. Look at Stoicism, it's been there for millennials. Wisdom, temperance, justice, courage, and find ways for you to refocus yourself and understanding that there are things that I need to accept, that I need to let go of and focus on myself, okay? Sometimes even to live is an act of courage, right? Perhaps that's how you need to feel right now. You just have to, living in the day, being able to watch videos, to learn about yourself, to grow a little bit, even if it's a tiny bit, is what matters. So you can read about Seneca, stop watching videos like mine. You can a little bit mine, but it's fine. But I think for you, it's try to expand your horizon. The reason I'm saying don't watch too many videos about breakups, and I say that to my clients every day, is that it brings you back to that situation, to that external thing. You are not with your ex anymore, okay? You can learn about attachment theory, you can learn about a lot of things, about communication and all of that. At the end of the day, it's not about your knowledge. Your knowledge won't bring your ex back. It's the actions that you take. But the problem is, the actions you have to take are really, depends on the emotions, depends on the story you tell yourself. You made mistakes throughout the relationship, otherwise you would still be with your ex. And so think about yourself. If I haven't done those things when we were together, why would I do those things? Why would I be better? Why would I feel more confident? Why would I feel less angry? Why would I invest more time? So look at those things. Of course, a breakup can be a wake-up call, and I think it's amazing. It's an amazing opportunity that you have right now to change your life, to become a better person, okay, and to become a better spouse for your partner. And focus your attention on those things, on the action. Read a bit about philosophy, take a step back, take a deep breath, and that will be fine. And one last thing, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. It does help me a lot to promote my content and share what I'm doing to a broader audience. If you want to support, it does help a lot. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.
For a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer.